So we are now Thursday, day 4 of our Amazon exclusive reveals. It's been a crazy week thus far, and today is probably the wild card out of all of them, the one that we weren't really sure how they were going to go about this. Sure, we had our expectations that it's probably going to be using that legacy mold in question, but maybe they would have did something different. Maybe they would have done something from left field. Today, let's talk about our next Amazon exclusive from the Transformers Legacy Wreck and Rule collection. Let's talk about Transformers Legacy Wreck and Rule collection, Voyager class Prime Universe Bulkhead. And that's literally how they call it. Now, this uses the, no surprise, Transformers Legacy mold of Bulkhead. But what's going on with the colors this time around? Like, what are they channeling, essentially, with this? So, we'll go through it, try to make sense for you guys, again, what's going on, and then you could decide if this is something that you would like to purchase or not. So, the color scheme, you could argue there's been a lot of camouflage deco vehicles throughout the years in Transformers history. When you look at this, you're kind of reminded of stuff like, let's say, the movieverse Flack, who was this character that had two different toys, but both of them had a very similar kind of camouflage deco, whether it be the 2010 version or the Dark of the Moon version of Flack. And then you look at going even further back, you could say, maybe it's an homage to the G2 Auto Roller General Optimus Prime that never came out, which had a similar kind of head sculpt and a similar kind of camo deco, even though he was an oversized pickup truck, which all of that was just a repaint of G2 Auto Roller Dirtbag. There's a lot of different things it could be. But what it really is, probably more than anything else, is, and like the old saying goes, sometimes the most obvious answer is the answer. And this is a Bulkhead character, a Prime Universe Bulkhead, as they call it. And in the movieverse, we had a Bulkhead character. We had Hound. And Hound had a very similar kind of alt mode to this current Legacy Bulkhead toy. And that same Hound character had two different releases of camouflage kind of toys throughout the years that really channel that. Here in the West, we had the Platinum Edition 5-pack, which was the Autobots United set, and it had a camouflage kind of Hound. And then in the Eastern side with Japan, they had an Amazon Japan exclusive Age of Extinction Blu-ray set, which came with an exclusive camo deco of Hound here. And if you look at that one specifically, it really is channeling the colors of this one. So that's probably what they pulled from it more than anything else, because, let's be real. Movieverse Hound is Bulkhead. I don't care what anyone says. It's our Bulkhead. John Goodman Bulkhead, pretty much. So that's what it is in terms of the coloring more than anything else. It's a straight up redeco. There's no retooling on the body whatsoever. It's just a redeco of that. It does come with another accessory, but I'll get into that in a moment. That's the big difference from anything else, is one extra accessory. But if it really is kind of channeling that movie Hound in a lot of ways, then maybe that chain gun that he has packed with was something that was really planned from the beginning and makes a lot of sense, because movie Hound is all known about his big old chain gun. And now that's something that was included even with the original Legacy Bulkhead. Now that chain gun starts to make a little more sense. And when you really look at this, the more you look at it, that Legacy Bulkhead, be it the Legacy version or even this one, really is more of almost a normalization of the aesthetic among Legacy of a movie character. And it's almost like they could have called this Hound. They could have called this Movieverse Hound, and it would have worked just as well in a lot of ways. So let's talk about what makes this different than what we have before. So we have an extra accessory that is included, and it's a hammer accessory. Now, this is one of two things. This could be the hammer piece that we've been reading thus far about assembling the Wrecker's hammer. Although multiple different people have been posting this online, how the hammer is just going to be something made out of cardboard, which if that is true, that's unfortunate. but maybe this is a piece of that hammer and that's not the case. I don't know. But the hammer does have a conspicuous kind of look to that of the Transformers Prime breakdown hammer that he had attached to his hand. And the way that this hammer accessory works, it could kind of be used like with Prime breakdown. It can be attached to Bulkhead's hand here and be used as a replacement hand accessory, much like the wrecking ball that he had previously. And he does still come with the wrecking ball, so you get an extra accessory on top of his little tarp shield and wrecking ball accessory, and of course his Gatling gun. So he's decked out with a whole bunch of weapons here. Really starting to feel a lot more like Movie Hound now that I think about it. This is pretty nuts. And yeah, I mean, probably the least exciting of the bunch we've had thus far. But maybe if you're a huge, Michael Bay movie fan and this really speaks to you and you could kind of get some kind of iteration or update of that John Goodman Movie Hound character that debuted in Age of Extinction, then hey, good on you. Then you got something here. But otherwise, I don't know. Me personally, kind of the weaker one of the bunch here otherwise. But still, it is what it is. And if you want to have your complete display in the background there, you're still going to have to pick them up. Because we get our next piece of the box art here too. And now we see that Emerald Zyron here is now holding like a hammer piece, which might be that Wrecker hammer that they're referring to. And if that Wrecker hammer really is just made out of cardboard, then I would have just preferred like a cardboard statue of Emerald in the back there rather than just the hammer. Because what's the point of an accessory that's not functionable, I guess is the best way to put it. I'd rather just have something in the background. Either way, it is what it is, like I always say. So, same thing like Springer yesterday. MSRP on this guy, pre-orders start today, and as of this recording, have not sold out. Pre-orders start today, $33.99, same MSRP as the other Legacy one. This isn't like the case like Springer, where Springer, because he's a mold from a couple of years ago, you're actually paying more for the same toy. You're paying the same amount for the same toy here. Not the $29.99 that was back in Siege. This is a Legacy toy repainted into another Legacy toy, $33.99, same MSRP, one way or another. So that is that. You get a little extra accessory. That's the way I look at it. You're paying the same amount for the one that you have in retail right now, but you get a little extra accessory, fancy box, and a cardboard something or another if rumors are true. This ships out beginning of November of 2022, so keep your eye out for that when you do your pre-orders and watch your credit card, because I'm pretty sure everyone has been throttled over the next couple of days having to hit all these pre-orders and get everything done, but we will see what happens with that. Not much really more I could say about it. Again, probably the least exciting of the bunch. And tomorrow is another 2-pack. It's Topspin, it's Twin Twist. It's a little bit of Diaclone throwbacks, a little bit of Saltman Z, Saltman X. Let's see how that turns out, because those were molds that were very expensive in the secondary market. So I know that some images have leaked online of one of them, but let's see how that turns out tomorrow, and we'll talk about it then. Take care, guys. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk again tomorrow.